Brothers and sisters in Christ, the whole world watches in silence with a profound mixture of tenderness and apprehension because something extraordinary is underway. There is an invisible movement from heaven, and the Virgin Mary in Medjugorje manifests a message so solemn that this moment was chosen by her to leave humanity a legacy of eternal weight. The surprising connection between the pontiff and the apparitions of Medjugorje shows that these events transcend the limits of the Church and touch the destiny of all. I promise that the outcome of this revelation will touch your soul in an unexpected way. Our Lady of Medjugorje now shares a final message with our beloved Pope, leaving even the visionaries themselves in reverent silence before her greatness. Come closer with us to this consecrated ground where faith materializes and each word resonates as a direct call to the heart. Before we move forward, allow this message to penetrate your soul, and if you so feel, share this call with other hearts thirsting for truth and hope. This is a unique testimony of living faith and ardent hope, for there are moments when time seems to be closing in, and this may be the last moment to hear my voice. The world, covered by the shadows of sin, has transformed into a barren place where evil manifests itself in countless forms. My son, through a heart-wrenching sacrifice, sought to save this humanity, and I, as a mother, walked with him in his pain. But few truly understood the value of this sacrifice. The cycles of the earth will continue, and plagues, illnesses, and epidemics will come upon it. The waters will be corrupted, the fire of destruction will spread, the earth will tremble violently, volcanoes will awaken, cities will fall, and even the sky will lose its brilliance. Rome, which was once the heart of faith, will be diverted from its mission, becoming a refuge for the great deceiver born from the shadows of a religious figure. In the name of my maternal love, I implore you to seek divine protection because dark times are approaching. Evil forces will spread, performing deceptive signs and spreading pain. My heart aches to see so many turning away from the path of light, surrendering to darkness and hastening the arrival of the one who deceives. Even after so many appearances and warnings, many hearts have become hardened, incapable of discerning the path they travel while evil advances. Enveloping souls in fear and coldness, some have allowed themselves to be seduced by Satan and embraced that which destroys the world. It is on the brink of the abyss, but know that my motherly love will never abandon those who invoke me. I will be present in pain, in tears, in the battles of life and beyond, always extending my hand. In this time of shadows, I invite you to rise up as my apostles, for the battle between light and darkness intensifies. An unknown plague approaches, taking many by surprise. Conflicts, wars, earthquakes, and storms will arise, reaping lives. In light of this, I ask that you prepare yourselves with the strength of prayer so that your lives may be guarded under the mantle of divine protection, that peace and mercy may dwell in your hearts. Even when darkness seems to dominate everything, never let hope die, for the force of good is infinitely greater than any darkness. In a world where despair tries to infiltrate every corner, I tell you something that can transform everything. Never let go of hope, for the light of God advances like an unstoppable current. The time has come to awaken, to rise up with ardent faith, because only through sincere prayer and reconciliation will you will find the grace that drives away evil and draws you closer to the Lord. You have the gift of being living witnesses of the love and mercy of my Son. Spread his message of forgiveness and peace not only with words but with the example of your own lives. Give yourselves unreservedly for the good of all. Be compassionate to those who suffer. Welcome the lonely. Help the needy and become beacons of hope for those who have lost their way. And my beloved children, do you already perceive how the world walks along increasingly confusing paths, as if advancing without seeing its own end? Nations rise up against one another. The earth groans with disasters that become more intense, and hearts often harden in the face of the suffering of others. Chaos and destruction spread not only outside, but also within the souls that turn away from God and allow themselves to be led by fear, pride, and indifference. And I tell you, my children, none of this happens without touching heaven. Every tear shed, every silent cry, every wounded family is seen and welcomed in the heart of God. However, It is necessary that we understand that these times demand more from you than words. They demand firmness, discernment, and a living faith that does not bend before the storms. Do not allow the noise of wars and the terror of disasters to extinguish the light that has been placed in your hearts. Evil grows stronger when it finds weary souls without hope, without inner prayer, and without trust. Therefore, as a mother, I call upon you to be stronger in faith, not a fragile faith that depends on circumstances, but a faith rooted in Christ, capable of remaining even when everything around seems to crumble. Strengthen your homes with love, silence, and fidelity to God. Guard your thoughts, for many battles begin in the mind before manifesting in the world. Do not nurture hatred, despair, or violence, for these are paths that lead only to more darkness. Choose, every day, to be instruments of peace, even amidst chaos. My children, do not fear what is to come more than you fear losing your faith. He who remains in God does not walk alone, even when crossing dark valleys. I am with you, walking beside you, sustaining you when your strength seems to fail. Remain steadfast, vigilant, and confident, for sincere faith is the anchor that will keep you standing in times of great trial. The world shows clear signs of weariness. Wars multiply, disasters become more severe, nature reacts to abuses, and hearts close more and more to love and truth. It is not only the earth that trembles, my children, but also souls, shaken by fear, confusion, and loss of faith. Many ask silently, "Where are we going?" And I tell you, the greatest danger lies not only in weapons, catastrophes, or visible tragedies, but in turning away from God, in refusing to listen to his voice and to live according to his teachings. When man places himself at the center of everything, forgetting the Creator, an endless path opens up, where emptiness grows and hope weakens. Therefore, I call you, my children, to awaken. Do not live as if everything were normal, as if evil were not advancing silently and constantly. Live with open eyes and attentive hearts, without falling into despair, but also without indifference. The time in which you live demands souls mature in faith, capable of remaining firm even when everything around seems unstable. Be stronger in faith, my children, not a superficial faith which manifests itself only in words, but a faith that transforms attitudes, choices, and thoughts. A faith that leads you to renounce sin, to forgive, to love when it is most difficult, to trust when all seems lost. True faith does not flee from pain, but crosses pain with hope, knowing that God never abandons those who trust in him. Protect your homes, for they are the first battlefields. Where love, dialogue, and fidelity are lacking, evil finds space to enter. Where disunity, impatience, and spiritual coldness reign, peace departs. I ask you, cultivate the presence of God in your homes, through respect, humility, and a sincere search for truth. Small gestures made with love have great value before heaven. My children, do not allow fear to govern your decisions. Fear paralyzes, weakens, and leads to despair. Trust in God, however, strengthens, illuminates, and sustains. Even if the world announces destruction, you are called to be signs of light. Even if many choose hatred, you are called to choose love. Even if faith is ridiculed or despised, remain faithful, for God sees the heart of each one. Remember that these times, though difficult, are also times of decision. Every choice counts. Every attitude can bring your soul closer to or further away from God. Do not postpone conversion. Do not harden your hearts. Do not live as if tomorrow were guaranteed. Live with spiritual responsibility, aware that you are called to bear witness, even in silence, even in simplicity. I walk with you, my children, not as someone distant, but as a mother who sustains, consoles, and guides. When you feel weak, remember that God's grace manifests itself precisely in the weakness of those who trust. When the world seems hopeless, remember that God always prepares a way for those who remain faithful. My beloved children, in the face of all that your eyes see and your hearts feel, do not remain distracted or spiritually asleep. The time you live in is marked by great confusion, by a chaos that spreads like a shadow over humanity. Evil moves in many ways, silent and persistent, seeking to divide, weaken, and destroy the faith, the family, and the hope that God planted in your souls. Therefore, my children, I ask you with a mother's love, call upon the protection of Saint Michael the Archangel in your homes. He is the faithful defender, the warrior of heaven, the one whom God placed at the forefront of spiritual battles to contain the forces of evil. Where Saint Michael is invoked with sincere faith, darkness recedes, disorder loses its power, and peace can once again find its dwelling place. Do not think that your homes are free from attack just because the walls are firm. Many battles are not visible to the eyes, but they affect thoughts, feelings, relationships, and faith. Evil begins small with discord, pride, indifference, and the loss of respect and trust in God. That is why you must protect your homes not only materially, but spiritually. By calling upon Saint Michael, my children, you are declaring that your home belongs to God. You are asking that light prevail over darkness, that truth conquer falsehood, that divine order be established where chaos tries to take hold. Do not invoke him only in moments of fear, but as a constant gesture of vigilance and trust. The evil that comes to destroy feeds on despair and lack of faith. Do not give it space. Strengthen yourselves in trust in God. Keep your hearts pure. Seek to live in truth and humility. Where there is living faith, the enemy finds no fertile ground. Where there is inner prayer, silence, and surrender, heaven acts with power. My children, I do not say this to frighten you, but to awaken you. God does not abandon his children, but expects each one to assume their spiritual responsibility. The times demand vigilance, discernment, and courage. Do not be negligent with your souls nor with those entrusted to you. I, your mother, am with you. I cover you with my mantle. I intercede for you, and I present your needs to the heart of God. Walk with confidence, protect your homes, strengthen your faith, and remain steadfast. Evil does not triumph where God is honored, where faith is alive, and where angels are called to guard. The times you live in are neither simple nor common. The world is shrouded in a fog of confusion, where good is often called evil, and evil is presented as something normal. Chaos spreads not only through visible wars and disasters, these are the forces that wound the earth, but also families, relationships, thoughts, and hearts that turn away from God. Therefore, my children, do not walk unprotected. Do not rely solely on your own strength, for it is limited. The evil that seeks to destroy does not act only externally. It infiltrates silently, trying to steal peace, weaken faith, generate divisions, cool love, and extinguish hope. That is why I call upon you with urgency and tenderness. Call upon the protection of Saint Michael the Archangel in your homes. Saint Michael is the guardian chosen by God to defend his children in spiritual battles. He remains faithful, vigilant, and obedient to the divine will. When we invoke him with faith, we are asking heaven to intervene, that God's order be restored, that all influence contrary to the light be driven away. Do not underestimate this protection, my children, for many falls could be avoided if homes were truly consecrated to spiritual defense. Place Saint Michael at the door of your houses, not only with words, but with actions. A protected home is one where truth is sought, where sin is rejected, where forgiveness is cultivated, and where God occupies first place. Evil cannot tolerate light, it cannot tolerate humility, it cannot tolerate faith lived with sincerity. Where there is spiritual vigilance, darkness does not remain. My children, understand. The chaos you see in the world reflects the inner chaos of many souls. Humanity has turned away from God and now reaps the consequences of this estrangement. However, there is still time. Every home that rises in faith, every family that chooses God, becomes a small refuge of light amidst the growing darkness. Do not think that you are few or weak. A faithful soul has great value before heaven. Invoke Saint Michael especially when you feel confusion, fear, discouragement, or division. Often these feelings are not merely human, but signs of invisible battles. Do not face everything alone. God, in his mercy, has granted you angels as help and protection. To refuse this help is to walk unnecessarily vulnerable. I warn you as a loving mother. The evil that comes to destroy does not always present itself with open violence, but with false promises, distractions, pride, and spiritual indifference. He slowly draws you away from prayer, reflection, and inner silence until your soul becomes fragile. Therefore, be vigilant. Do not allow the world to steal from you what is most precious, your faith. Entrust yourselves to the protection of heaven. Place your homes under the care of Saint Michael and under my maternal mantle. I intercede for you incessantly, but I hope that you will also do your part, choosing the light every day, even when it requires renunciation and courage. My children, remain steadfast. Do not let yourselves be dominated by the fear of what is to come, but strengthen yourselves in the certainty that God is greater than any evil. Where heaven is called upon with sincere faith, no darkness prevails. Walk with confidence, protect your homes, guard your souls, and do not forget, those who remain in God will never be forsaken. My beloved children, children of my maternal heart, understand that the world is walking along increasingly confused paths, like a land that has lost its way and allows itself to be led by pride, violence, and indifference. Chaos grows not only in nations, in wars, and in disasters that wound creation, but also in hearts that turn away from God, that no longer listen to the truth, and that allow themselves to be dominated by fear, anger, and despair. It often seems that humanity is advancing towards endless chaos, where light is rejected and darkness finds space. In the face of this, my children, come to me. Draw near to my heart, which welcomes you with a mother's tenderness. I do not speak to you to increase your fear, but to lead you to the faith, trust, and security that only God can offer. When the world is in turmoil, when evil rises up and destruction threatens peace, it is in the refuge of God's love that your souls find rest. Come to me, my children, to strengthen your faith. Faith is the lamp that illuminates the path in the midst of darkness. Without it, man is lost, despairs, and becomes easy prey for evil. With it, even in the midst of storms, he remains standing, firm, confident, sustained by divine grace. Do not allow the confusion of this time to extinguish the flame that God has kindled in your hearts. Evil grows where love grows cold. Destruction advances where truth is rejected. The enemy of humanity takes advantage of weariness, division, and lack of vigilance to sow ruin. Therefore, I ask you, guard your thoughts, protect your homes, strengthen your families in faith. Do not give your hearts to despair, nor conform to what is unjust. Choose the light even when it seems small. My children, many seek security in fleeting things and forget God. They build their lives on fragile foundations, and when the wind blows, everything crumbles. I invite you to build on the firm rock of faith, humility, and obedience to the divine will. He who trusts in God will not be confounded, even if the world around him trembles. Come to me when fear visits you. Come to me when your heart is weary. Come to me when you do not know which path to follow. I lead you to Jesus, the source of all truth and salvation. In him you will find strength to resist evil, courage to face trials, and hope not to succumb to the destruction that spreads. I cover you with my mantle, I intercede for you, and I do not abandon you. Every step you take towards God is seen by heaven. Every tear is collected. Every effort to remain in the light is precious. Do not turn away. Do not harden your hearts. Do not let yourselves be dominated by the darkness of this time. My children, remain with me. Remain in God. Chaos will not have the last word over those who choose faith. Evil will not prevail over those who remain in truth. Destruction will not reach the souls that take refuge in the love of the Most High. Walk confidently, for you are beloved children, protected and called to be light in the midst of the night. Chaos does not arise overnight. It is born slowly, when God is left aside, when love is replaced, it is driven by selfishness, when faith is treated as something worthless. Thus, humanity approaches a spiritual abyss that seems to have no end. Understand, my children, that this chaos is not only external. It begins within man, when the heart closes, when the conscience is silenced, when the soul becomes accustomed to sin and indifference. The wars you see in the world are a reflection of the wars that exist within souls. The destruction that plagues the earth is a consequence of the silent destruction of values, of family, of truth, and of faith. In light of this, I call you with love and firmness. Come to me, my children. Do not turn away when everything seems to crumble. Do not isolate yourselves in fear, nor surrender to despair. Come to me to learn to trust, to rediscover the faith that sustains, illuminates, and strengthens. My heart is a safe refuge for those who wish to remain in the light, even when darkness spreads. Come to me so that your faith may not be weak or unstable. Many claim to believe but are easily shaken by worldly events. True faith is not based on what is fleeting, but on God, who is eternal. When faith is solid, chaos does not dominate the heart, evil does not take root, and destruction finds no space in the soul. My children, evil grows when man turns away from God and begins to trust only in himself. It disguises itself as freedom, progress, false promises, but its fruit is always the same: emptiness, division, and suffering. Do not be deceived. Discern with wisdom, guard your thoughts, watch over your feelings, and protect your choices. Every decision made without God weakens the soul. Every decision made with God strengthens the spirit. The world offers you many paths, but few lead to life. Many of these paths seem easy, attractive, and modern, but they lead to the loss of inner peace and the silent destruction of faith. I ask you, do not walk without direction. Seek the truth even when it demands renunciation. Choose good even when it is rejected. Remain faithful even when it makes you different. Come to me, my children, to learn to remain steadfast. He who relies on God is not overthrown by storms. He who cultivates faith is not lost in confusion. He who chooses the light is not overcome by darkness. Even if the world announces endless chaos, the heart that trusts in God finds hope and meaning. Do not think that you are small or insignificant. Every faithful soul is a flame lit in the midst of darkness. Every family that chooses faith becomes a haven of peace. Every heart that opens to God prevents evil from advancing further. Heaven counts on your faithfulness, your perseverance, and your spiritual courage. My children, do not become accustomed to sin, do not trivialize evil, do not treat faith as something secondary. The time in which you live demands vigilance, discernment, and inner commitment. Live with spiritual responsibility, aware that you are called to witness the truth not only with words, but with your lives. I walk with you. I do not abandon you. I sustain you in moments of weakness and intercede for you when the burden seems too great. Remain with me, for I lead you to God, the source of all life, all peace, and all hope. Even if the world heads towards chaos, those who remain in faith will never walk alone. Evil will not have the last word. Destruction will not overcome those who choose the light. Trust, persevere, and do not stray, for my heart remains open to welcome, strengthen, and guide all my children. Therefore I tell you, my children, protect your homes. Do not treat your houses merely as shelters for the body, but as sacred places where the presence of God should dwell. Where God is welcomed, evil does not remain. Where faith is cultivated, the enemy finds no rest. The home is the first refuge that must be guarded, for it is there that the heart is formed, that families are strengthened, and that peace should reign. Place holy water in your home, my children, with respect and spiritual awareness. Holy water is a sign of purification, of surrender, and of trust in God. It is not an empty gesture, but a living reminder that your house belongs to the Lord. By using it with faith, you are declaring that you reject evil, that you desire the protection of heaven, and that you seek to live in the light, even amidst a world wounded by sin. Do not do this out of fear, but out of love and vigilance. Fear weakens, but faith strengthens. Holy water, united with a sincere heart, reminds you of the need to maintain pure thoughts, just attitudes, and choices aligned with God's will. It calls you to spiritual responsibility, reminding you that you must not allow the evil of the world to find space in your lives. My children, evil acts subtly. It enters through distractions, lack of inner prayer, loss of silence, and the normalization of sin. Before you know it, peace is gone, division enters, and the heart becomes heavy. Therefore, I ask you, be vigilant. Do not let small signs pass you by. Take care of what enters your homes, what feeds your thoughts, and what occupies your time. When placing holy water in your home, remember also to seek a life consistent with faith. No outward sign has power if the heart remains closed to God. True protection is born from daily conversion, humility, forgiveness, and the sincere effort to live in goodness. Where there is true love, evil loses its power. Where there is living faith, destruction does not prevail. Come to me, my children, when you feel the weight of this world. Draw near to my heart to learn to trust, to remain steadfast, and not to let yourselves be contaminated by the darkness that grows around you. I lead you to God, the source of all protection, all peace, and all hope.